By the end of this video, you'll be able to create your own Flappy Bird-style game using Python and Pygame, completely on your own. We're going to build everything step by step, starting from a blank screen and turning it into a fully playable game. Let's build the game together from scratch. Before we start coding, make sure you have the Pygame library installed on your computer. You can install it easily using a simple command in your terminal. I already have it installed, so I won't be running the command here, but if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and install it first. In this first stage, we're just going to create an empty game window. Nothing fancy yet, just making sure Pygame is working properly. As you can see on the screen, the code starts by importing and initializing Pygame. Then we set up a window that's 400 pixels wide and 600 pixels tall, and we give it a title, Flappy Bird, Stage 1. Next comes the game loop, which runs continuously while the game is active. Inside that loop, we check for events like closing the window. When the player clicks the close button, we set running to false, which stops the loop and ends the game. Each frame, we fill the window with a black color and then update the display, so what we draw actually shows up on the screen. Finally, once the loop ends, pygame.quit makes sure everything closes cleanly. Let's go ahead and run this code. You should now see a simple black window appear. That means everything's working perfectly. In the next stage, we'll move forward and add our bird to the window so we can actually start seeing our character on screen. Let's do that next. All right, let's continue. To add the bird object to our window, we first need an image for it. You can download this image from the GitHub link in the video description. Once you have it saved in your project folder, we can use it in our code. Now let's look at the code we'll add. We start by loading the bird image and making sure it keeps its transparency with convert alpha. Then we scale it to the right size so it fits nicely in our window. After that, we define the initial position of the bird on the screen with X and Y coordinates. Finally, we draw the bird onto the window using blit. When we run this code, you should see the bird appear on top of the black background. That means our image is successfully loaded and displayed. Great. In the next step, we'll make this bird move so it can jump and interact with the game. That's where the real fun begins. Let's talk about making our bird move. First, we create a clock using pygame.time.clock. This keeps track of time and lets us control the frames per second, so the game runs smoothly on any computer. Next, we set up a few variables: VY to track the bird's vertical speed, gravity to pull it down each frame, and jump power to make it move upward when we press the spacebar. We also store the bird's width and height so we can handle collisions with the ground later. Inside the event loop, we check if the space key is pressed. When it is, we set the bird's vertical speed VY to jump power, which makes it jump up. Every frame, we add gravity to VY and update the bird's Y position, so it slowly falls back down. We also make sure the bird doesn't fall through the bottom of the window. If Y goes below the floor, we reset it and set the speed to 0, so it stays on the ground instead of disappearing. Finally, we use clock.tick60 to limit the game to 60 frames per second, keeping the movement smooth and consistent on all computers. When you run this code, you'll see your bird can now jump and fall naturally. Awesome. In the next part, we'll take this further and add pipes for the bird to fly through. That's where the real challenge starts. All right, now let's add some pipes to our game. First, we import the random module because we want the pipes to have random heights each time they appear. This makes the game more interesting and unpredictable. To make the game challenging, we create a list of pipes with random heights. Each pipe has an X position and a Y position, where Y determines how tall the top part of the pipe is. We also set a gap between the top and bottom pipes so the bird has space to fly through. Every frame, we move the pipes to the left by a small amount, giving the illusion that the bird is moving forward. Pipes that move off the screen are removed from the list to keep the game efficient. Whenever the last pipe reaches a certain point, we generate a new pipe with a random height and add it to the end, so the obstacles keep coming endlessly. Finally, we draw the pipes on the screen as green rectangles, one rectangle for the top pipe and one for the bottom pipe, leaving the gap in between. When you run this code, you'll see pipes moving across the screen, creating a challenging path for your bird. Awesome. The pipes are now on the screen, but there's still one problem. Even if the bird hits them, the game doesn't end. We'll fix that in the next part and make the game properly respond to collisions. All right, now we've reached the final stage of our Flappy Bird game. In this stage, we're going to add the last few features that make the game fully playable. detecting collisions, keeping score, displaying text, and letting the player restart the game after crashing. First, we added some new variables. We have a variable that keeps track of whether the bird is alive, another for the score, and one for the font so we can draw text like the score or instructions on the screen. We also added a small helper value to fine-tune collisions if needed. Next, we created a reset function. This function restores everything to the starting state: the bird's position, its vertical speed, the pipes, the alive status, and the score. This allows the player to restart the game smoothly after crashing. In the event handling part of the game, we updated it to support new actions. Now the game will stop if the player presses the Q key or closes the window. The bird jumps only if it's still alive, and if the bird has crashed, pressing the R key will reset the game and start over. We also wrapped the gravity and vertical movement logic inside a check to see if the bird is alive. This ensures that once the bird hits a pipe, it stops moving and the game waits for the player to restart. One of the biggest changes is the collision detection. We created a smaller rectangle inside the bird for more precise detection. For each pipe, we made rectangles for the top and bottom parts, and we check if the bird collides with any of them. If a collision happens, the bird dies and the game stops. We also added a scoring system. Every time the bird successfully passes a pipe without hitting it, the score increases by 1. Each pipe remembers whether it has already been scored, so the score doesn't increase multiple times for the same pipe. The pipe generation logic was updated as well. When the last pipe reaches a certain point on the screen, a new pipe appears with a random height, creating an endless challenge for the player. Finally, we drew everything on the screen. The bird appears at its current position, pipes move across the screen, and the current score is displayed in the top left corner. If the bird has crashed, instructions appear on the screen telling the player how to restart or quit. When you run this final version, you now have a fully functional Flappy Bird game. The bird jumps, pipes move across the screen, the score updates correctly, collisions are detected, and the game can be restarted or quit easily. This stage completed the game by adding a live status, scoring, collision detection, restart mechanics, and text rendering, all the pieces needed to make it fully playable. If you want to watch more videos like this, you can check out the playlists on the channel. There are plenty of free tutorials waiting for you.